What's up, guys? It's time for some barn door cycling science. It's something I've been thinking about while I've been riding a trainer. I ride an old Cervelo R2.5. This is a very clapped out, to use the British term, clapped out bike. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of riding on Zwift, and I'm like, am I losing efficiency? Am I losing power? Because I'm getting my power measurement from my smart trainer from the cassette. So I'm losing all drivetrain efficiency and possibly frame efficiency, pedal efficiency. I'm losing that. Even shoes, that could even play into this maybe, perhaps. All those efficiencies could be lost since I'm measuring power. Now, if I was measuring power through my pedals, that wouldn't matter. But this bike, like I said, is worn out. I bought this thing for $40 on eBay, and I've repaired it with JB Weld, like carbon tape, twice. I can't believe the thing hasn't just like crumbled underneath me. But I ride it almost daily on Zwift, and it's been doing great. But here's some of the issues. One, I lubed up the chain with Tri-Flow. There we go. Tri-Flow lubricants, kind of known not to be too particularly efficient, right? So I lubed it up with Tri-Flow, and so there's some possible drivetrain, and it's bad. It's all like chunky black, grody chain and stuff like that. I'm using a 105 derailleur that has bushings in the pulleys, so I'm possibly losing a watt or two in the pulleys, perhaps, especially if they don't really flow roll that smoothly, which I'm not sure if they do or not. The pedals are some of my oldest road pedals that I have. They still feel pretty smooth, but they are pretty old and pretty worn out, but I think the bearings are just fine. The bearings on the bottom bracket are pretty old, but still seem smooth enough. I wanted to compare that with a different bike, so let me put the other bike on the trainer and we'll check it out.
And the other bike is a Tarmac with upgraded sealed bearing pulleys and a waxed chain and ceramic bottom bracket bearings. So pretty nice, clean, good shape drivetrain.
So my testing protocol I've devised here is pretty simple. It's probably too simple. Basically, I'm gonna use the erg mode. So I created a workout, and I couldn't decide on the wattage, but I figured the most important thing was probably cadence. You know, I wanted to keep a pretty fast cadence, which erg mode is going to kind of force me to do that a little bit, especially. So I went with 160 watts, and I was trying to hold 88 rotations per minute. So I think for this test to really be, meaningful, I would probably need to repeat this over and over and over again, maybe 5 times. I don't know. I don't have time, and I don't really want to do that. But 10 minutes at 88 RPM, shooting for 160 watts, which is just like a mid zone 2, easy zone 2 for me. The better drivetrain, the wax drivetrain, sealed bearing, sealed ceramic bearing pulleys, and ceramic bearing bottom bracket, it felt smoother. It felt quieter, and in my feet, it felt smoother. Like I could feel very little friction, like in your feet. You can kind of feel like, I wouldn't even say it's grinding, but just like a little bit of roughness I could feel through my feet. And that waxed chain felt super smooth. Whether it will make a difference, we'll go check.
Okay, guys, the ride data is uploaded. Let's look at the intervals. So interval 1, 9 minutes and 59 seconds. This is on the old clapped out bike, Tri-Flow drivetrain, and no good ceramic bearings, any of that stuff. And so power 160 average, heart rate average 128, cadence 86. So average 128. That was the number I was most paying attention. Power is not going to change. Cadence is just barely going to change. Let's go look at interval 2. 9 minutes, 59 seconds. This is on the new enhanced drivetrain, waxed and all that. Look at that. Heart rate's higher, 129. Average power is the same. Cadence is just a little bit higher at 88 average instead of 86. So either A, it really doesn't matter. B, it's not sensitive enough to matter. It's like so close that it doesn't matter. It could be that cardiac drift. I did take a nice long, like 5-minute break and, you know, kind of tinker around with the saddle and stuff and sit down. And I tried to really be as even as possible. So I started with the same heart rate, but my heart rate shot up a lot faster on the second interval than it did on the first one, I guess, because I'd already, you know, let's go back and look at that first one. And you see it took a little while for my heart rate to get up to 128, 129 or whatever. And then on the second interval, it went just almost straight there. So even though I had rested 5-10 minutes between the intervals and just set, you know, it didn't matter. So I kind of wonder if maybe my waxing job isn't so great. You know, I just use like paraffin wax. I don't use anything special, and maybe it's not really all that great. So I kind of think I might take the chain off, clean it really good on the old clapped out bike, wax it, or maybe just get it really good and clean. But honestly, I really think this is just not really even necessary to worry about. There's such a small amount of difference, and the only really good way to really know would be you'd have to have a power meter, you know, the exact same power meter on the, somehow being able to measure what you're putting in and what you're putting out. I don't think power meters are, you know, they're like margin of error is within the difference this is going to be. So maybe like in a full long day of riding, drivetrain efficiency might matter. Maybe at super high outputs, it might matter more. It's probably a marginal gain that we can just ignore and not worry about, especially for us punters on the Zwift. It probably doesn't make any difference. But, you know, having a clean drivetrain does feel better. So there's no reason not to do it, but don't expect massive marginal gains from it. See you guys.